Hello everyone, welcome to Rockshire Gaming. My name is Eric. Today we are going to be taking a look at what has been announced so far for Marvel United Multiverse. You guys seem to be digging the coverage on the game so far on the channel, so today is day one, and as I film this, it is still technically day one. So there's been a lot of cool things announced, so we're going to take a look at the little bit of information, the more detailed information they have given us for the Galactus box, and more the information they've given us on the stretch goal characters and some other stuff. I've got all the different updates up there, so we're not going to take too much time on each individual update, but we will look at that. I also do want to look at some comparisons between the other two campaigns that we'll kind of get into. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with that. So, first things first, here is the Marvel United Multiverse Kickstarter page. Now, again, between this box here, the Coming of Galactus box especially, and some of the announced stretch goals that we've already got, I honestly feel, and I've said it before in the other videos, I think Jake and I talked about it in the last video, and I kept on murmuring to myself about it. I honestly feel like Fantastic Four was supposed to be the next box. I don't think it was. It may have been. I don't know. But for some reason, I think something logistically happened. They decided to launch Multiverse instead this time. They bumped up the Fantastic Four box. Maybe they just needed another box because the campaign was just off the rails for the X-Men one. I don't know, but the fact that the Coming of Galactus is technically branded as Fantastic Four and not branded as Multiverse, something had to have been up with that. I can only speculate. I do not work for CMON. I do not have any inside information whatsoever on that. So that is just my take, my feeling. Who knows? But let us go ahead and scroll down. So this is live as of 11:11 p.m. on January 18th, 2023. The campaign launched 3 p.m. Eastern time. I made a video short earlier saying it was 12 noon, and it wasn't. I apologize for that. If you're on the West Coast, sure, it was. But East Coast, inaccurate. Scrolling down a little bit, they are currently at 691,273 with over 8,000 backers. I did not actually go back and look at how many total backers on, well, day to day. I'd have to go to KickTrack for that. But this is what we are currently at right now. They are, and it just moved again. Maybe by the time we end this video, we'll see what the next update is. I don't think they're going to do $20,000 in the next half hour to an hour, but hey, who knows? But anyway, so that is where we're at as far as that goes. So we're going to scroll down a little bit farther. We'll look at those pledge levels here in a minute. Back up. Marvel United Multiverse, it shows 1 to 5 players. Now, technically, the game is a 4-player game. There is new solo mode in there, so that accounts for the 1 player, and they are including, spoilers for scrolling back down, the cards for superhero mode or supervillain mode. I can never keep track of which one it is. It's basically the mode where you can have a 5th person playing as the villains. 14 and up with a 40-minute runtime. If you play the game a lot, yeah, you can probably get done in 40 minutes depending on the game mode. So, Marvel United is opening the multiverse wide open and bringing it into this fast-paced cooperative game. Build your team of heroes from all realities and join forces to thwart the master plan of the most powerful villains across all timelines. With your special equipment at your side, even the biggest obstacle can be toppled. Simple rules, deep strategy, easy setup, quick playtime, variable difficulty, eye-catching artwork, and amazing character pieces, all united to bring you the most fun Marvel play experience. So there is that. So much in line. Prices for this so far are showing the exact same as they did for X-Men. We have the Multiverse Pledge, which is the Marvel United Multiverse Core Box, all stretch goals, and right here, the Wrecking Crew. So right down here, we get Wrecker, Pile Driver, Thunderball, and Bulldozer, the four of the members of the Wrecking Crew. They have not put out an update as of right now of what their gameplay is. I know day one, because I was going back through. That was the other reason I'm doing this so late, is I was going back through the other campaigns and kind of seeing updates and stuff like that. They have not put out an update that I saw yet of the game mode and how this plays. It does say Wrecking Crew, a quartet of villains that act together as a team. So I'm assuming, based on this, without any information so far, we'll probably find out tomorrow. You'll probably be seeing this tomorrow. Everyone will probably be waking up seeing it on the 19th. But it'd probably be similar to the Brotherhood gameplay, which was Toad, Pyro, and Blob, where they're 4 villains that act at the same time. Also similar to the Sinister Six mode in that box, even though in that one you can play the Sinister Six individually. I would love for them to, like we're going to see in a minute, I would love for them to turn the Wrecking Crew into have a team and then also be able to fight them individually. It's something we didn't get with some of those team up groups in Marvel United X-Men and Marvel United. Even I think the only game mode like that was arguably the Thanos box, the Infinity Gauntlet one, but you still played each member of the Black Order individually. You still fought them individually. There was no team dynamic. Apocalypse had a team dynamic with the Horsemen, kind of. It was weird. We'll get into that a little bit later. So these are the 4 characters for that, and the fact that they are all 4 villains. There's no anti-heroes in this team whatsoever. Wouldn't count on it. So then we go down here to the Herald Pledge, $100. It is the same amount as the Apocalypse Pledge in the original, Marvel United X-Men. And this one, so if you order just, again, Marvel United for $65, which the main benefit to doing that through the Kickstarter, again, is the Wrecking Crew. Waiting for retail, the game will probably be cheaper, but you're not going to get those Kickstarter exclusives, so that's kind of where they get you with that. But Apocalypse Pledge, Herald Pledge is completely Kickstarter exclusive. You get Marvel United Core with the Wrecking Crew exclusives, but you also get Iron Lad. Jake will be happy. I'm pretty sure during our last video when we were doing our predictions, he said that Iron Lad specifically was one of the characters he wanted. I said that it'll probably be a stretch goal with the new Avengers, but here we are. So there's that Iron Lad figure down there with all the new, I keep wanting to say Apocalypse, with all the new Galactus stuff, including the Coming of Galactus box. This makes me happy that Galactus, one, didn't make this pledge level like $200. The Galactus is very manageable as far as size. It is nowhere near the size, thank God, of the Marvel Zombies one. I can't wait to see that one. I can't wait for when that comes out. For Jake's gonna bring that over so we can take a look at it here. But I'm very satisfied with this Galactus here that we're going to be getting. More manageable in size. Same technical figure count as the Apocalypse box, but of course it's going to be a lot bigger because that Galactus is going to be bigger. So you're still getting the same. You're getting more, in my mind, for your buck with this than you did with the X-Men one. Just because there's additional game modes and stuff like that that are going. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We'll look at the update for it. There's additional game modes and stuff like that for the Galactus box. The Galactus figure itself is huge compared to every other figure, short of the Sentinels. You're just getting a lot of value for this one, in my mind, especially when you compare it same price for the Apocalypse Pledge. So there is that. So here's some just randomness for the game here. Universes unite, fast-paced cooperative game, pushing gameplay into new frontiers. So gameplay basics. If you've already played Marvel United, you know about this stuff. This is the expanding the gameplay where we have the Commander solo mode with the battle plan cards and adding in the equipment cards. So This is, again, we've already covered a lot of this. So these are all the different characters. You got Captain Carter, Loki, Shuri, Black Panther, specifically calling her out for that. Not just calling her Black Panther or whatever, but making sure we know it's Shuri. Spider-Man 2099, the new version, or technically the old version. This is the OG 2099, not the newer version 2099 that we got in the crap the stretch goal box for the original campaign. This is technically Spider number 8, since Spider-Geddon isn't technically out yet. Mighty Thor, Ironheart are your heroes. You have Antihero as Cosmic Ghost Rider, villains Immortus, Maestro, and Emperor Doom in his throne. I think they basically said that if you're what they say during one of the live streams, if your villain's gonna be tough when he's not even out of his chair. So there's that. Brand new locations. Because of the fact that I've got the window smaller, I can't see what these are necessarily. I know the TVA headquarters is in there. I think London is in there somewhere. It's right here. So those are your 8 new locations. Villain dashboards, mission guide, 84 hero cards, 48 master plan cards, 12 battle cards, 24 threat cards, 7 equipment cards. It's interesting because I think math-wise means somebody doesn't have a threat card. Or, I'm sorry, equipment card. I didn't get through all the live streams. Time got in the way. But I'm pretty sure I think Shuri has 2 cards. Cosmic Ghost Rider has 2 cards. Kevin Carter has a shield. Thor has Mjolnir. That's 6. I don't know who the 7th card is, but based on this, I'm assuming the 7th card is probably, unless I'm totally wrong, because I'm bad at research, I would assume it's the web shooter for Spider-Man 2099, since it seems like all the spiders are getting web shooters. Get into that in a minute. But yeah, I don't remember from the live streams who got the 7th card essentially. Anyway, we have 12 superhero cards, 12 supervillain cards, 8 superhero cards, 2 new challenge cards, or 2 more challenge cards, the standard 3 mission cards, 1 villain tracker, 157 tokens. Most of these tokens, with the exception of this one right here, they look like they're from past boxes. I know the Fantastic Four box had the Doombot tokens. These other 2 tokens here were in, I think, the X-Men box. This is basically a modified Senator Kelly token here, so you can kind of swap that out. But yeah, overall tokens are the same. I don't know what they're going to do, and again, because I have no idea. If they do offer plastic tokens in this one, are they just going to offer a pack of just the ones for this, or are they going to make us buy all the tokens again? I already have the tokens from the first 2 campaigns, so hopefully not. Let's go down here. Are you ready for the biggest challenge in the multiverse, the coming of Galactus? So, there's the picture of his herald, and here are more pictures of the heralds. The components, kind of glancing at those because we're going to go more into that into the update here. But Galactus has his own dashboard. The heralds have their own dashboard. 6 location tiles, all pictures of Earth. The 4 villain dashboards, 72 master plan cards, 33 threat cards, 8 mission cards. I think someone posted in one of the comments on here that the 8 mission cards. Somewhere else it says Galactus has 8 mission cards, but that Firelord has his own 3. So we'll see what that goes. 8 Herald tokens, and then 12 hero cards because Nova apparently is an anti-hero. Her base doesn't show it, but she is an anti-hero. So there's gameplay videos from other channels. You can watch those. That is where we're going to stop on that before we get into stretch goals. Sorry for the squeaky chair. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look here. We're going to jump ahead to update number 12 because I can. But this is going to be the heralding the coming of Galactus. So, this is some flavor text going about how the story of it, that he's searching the universe for suitable replacements. He's conscripted 4 powerful beings, Airwalker, Firelord, Nova, and Terrax with their aid. Can anyone stop the coming of Galactus? So again, that Fantastic Four logo. I'm gonna. It's just what. Never mind. We'll see what. We'll see the branding on the other boxes. See what happens with that. But yeah, the Herald Pledge, going in and talking about that a little bit more. Iron Lad. The Coming of Galactus is a Kickstarter exclusive expansion that brings a conflict at a truly epic scale to Marvel United. The heroes must take on the insurmountable threat of Galactus himself, as well as the united might of his four heralds. I swear I can read. So it presents with a variety of challenges facing Galactus. For heralds and his threats, heroes must complete a whole series of missions under the destructive gaze of the Devourer of Worlds in a desperate attempt to stop Galactus and save Earth. Heroes may also face the Heralds of Galactus directly in an intense game mode where each of them brings their full might to the table. Finally, each of the heralds can be faced on their own in a variety of encounters. Now, I like the fact that you can fight the heralds separately. It gives us a lot more variety in villains. With the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet box. I keep looking over here because that one bookshelf is over here where I can see all the boxes. So if you're wondering why I'm looking this way, that's why. But with the Infinity Gauntlet box, the 3 Black Order members that are in there, plus the 4th one that was in the stretch goal box, could all be fought individually. They were all their own encounters. You actually played each one of them in an encounter to before you got to Thanos. In Apocalypse, you didn't have that. You had a mode where you either fought them while fighting Apocalypse, and then you had a mode where you fought them before fighting Apocalypse. But even then, they only had 4 cards in their deck, 2 to 4 cards depending on player count, in their deck. And once they ran out of cards, they went to the next horseman. So you didn't have a full-on fight. They didn't have their own full-on individual dashboards. Again, with the way those characters were, you may not anyway. I think the Heralds of Galactus work more individually in their own right, kind of thing. But there's that. So what do we get here? So we get a game piece for Galactus, Airwalker, Firelord, Terrax, and Nova. Galactus gets his own dashboard with 24 Galactus Master Plan cards, 8 Galactus Threat cards, 8 Galactus Missions, 1 Airwalker Villain dashboard. These are all going to be the same. Airwalker gets a dashboard with 12 Master Plan cards and 6 Threat cards. Same with Firelord, except for he has 3 missions. Terrax is going to be 1 dashboard, 12 cards, 6 threats. Nova gets she is apparently an anti-hero. Though probably because of the combined mode, they didn't want to have a purple figure with 3 other red figures, so they I think they did the whole entire sculpt in that translucent fire orange color that they've been that they put out in the last game. So she's got her hero cards, Herald's Villain dashboard, 12 Herald Master Plan cards, 6 Herald Threat cards, 8 Herald tokens, and 6 locations. So there is the artwork for Galactus. I'm not going to go through here because you guys can go through and see it yourselves. Trying to grab things that we can do. This is going to be a lot of text on what the game mode actually has. Hovering above Earth, Galactus focus rotates to target different continents with attacks that not only damage all heroes there, but also burn through their action tokens and discards all thugs and civilians. Heroes are not really able to damage Galactus with their attacks. Instead, they must run through a gauntlet of 8 randomized missions, trying to complete them one by one as quickly as possible to stop Galactus before his devastating plan comes to an end. So he's basically attacking locations and attacking the Earth itself. So there is kind of how you set it up, and I believe these have to be set up in a certain order, if I remember reading something correctly. Each of the heralds targets heroes in different ways, from devastating range to attacks to mobilizing thugs to attack them. Defeating the heralds is not assurance safety, however, as Galactus may bring new heralds during the game, taking any unused hero or villains and conscripting their services to fight the heroes. Galactus' remaining threats may be even more devastating as they imbue him with enough cosmic power to cancel heroes' special effects as long as they're in. So yes, he can create new heralds, and actually it says farther down in here that um, you can actually use other villains, not just the 4 heralds, to be his heralds. So again, there's more in here. Modular heralds. That's where they talk about the fact that you can use any 4 villains to be the heralds of Galactus. They have their own uh, cards there for that. So that is pretty cool. Airwalker talks about his stuff on there. Firelord, we get with the Nihilist Seeker's henchman. I saw some people wanting a Firelord to be an anti-hero. I would say if that's something you would want, I would say keep mentioning it in the comments on the page. Apocalypse got turned into an anti-hero halfway through the second Kickstarter campaign, so anything's possible with turning these guys, getting extra cards. I'm not saying like not saying be annoying with demanding it, but I would say ask for it and see if we get it. There's the write-up on Terrax there. Again, I'm not going to go through all these just because I can be here for hours doing that. There's a lot of information here. This is information going over Nova and going over her hero cards there. Locations, this is kind of more so what I wanted to take a look at. Locations in the set were specifically designed for the battle against Galactus, though they can still be used in any regular game. While they can be used individually, they really come together when used as a set and in the proper order, creating a full view of Earth and its continents. In North America, you may discard or swap cards with the storyline. In South America, you may discard to action tokens matching your discarded card. In Europe, you may refresh your hand of cards, choosing what to keep. In Africa, you may discard to defeat thugs and rescue civilians. In Asia, you may add thugs and or civilians. And in Oceania, you may remove a hero from the game to introduce a brand new one. So that's cool. You'll be able to like swap out heroes and everything throughout the game too. And when you put them together, you're not going to put them together that close on the board, obviously. But when you put them together, they will create a pretty cool map of the planet there. Exclusive bonus, we have Iron Lad with his 12 cards, and also looks like he is getting a piece of armor, the neurokinetic armor. Used on your turn, you cannot take any damage until the beginning of your next turn. For each damage you would take punched in your location, then turn this face down. So yeah, we got Iron Lad there with with his equipment cards. So what I like in there is that, and we'll get to it with the stretch goals here in a minute, but I like the fact that we're not getting stretch goal, or like not stretch goals, we're not getting like a pack of the cards for equipment cards at the end. They're actually including them in the stretch goals with each character. So I do like that. So we've got, that's the Galactus Pledge. Like I said, click on the not click on the link, I'm not gonna have it there. But when you're on the Facebook page, my gosh, it is 11:30 and I'm keeping this in. When you get to the Kickstarter page, make sure you can go through, read through it on your own. Like I said, the fact that they're giving us 4 villains that have modes where they play together and modes where you play them separately. Again, it gives us a lot more variety than the Apocalypse box. Kind of puts it on par with what they created with that Sinister Six. I know a lot of people love the Sinister Six box because you got 6 villains that you play together, but then it also had a mode where you played all 6, or you played the 6 individually. I feel like with a lot of the combined villain modes in X-Men, they were trying to recapitalize on that in different ways and trying stuff out. The unfortunate thing to me is that, yes, it's cool to play Blob, Pyro, and Toad at one time, but it would have been cool too to have a mode, individual cards, to actually play them individually. So I think that was a missed opportunity in the X-Men box, and I'm happy to see that they're at least showing signs that they're going to change that. Now with the Wrecking Crew, they're probably going to be um, uh, one fight of 4 characters. They're not going to separate everybody out because that would just be crazy amount of content. But here we are. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. Oh, there's a survey there. So going back to update number 1, the first thing we got today was Corsair test pilot for NASA. Christopher Summers was flying his family with a private airplane when he and his wife were teleported aboard a Shi'ar starship and taken to the Shi'ar Imperial throne world of Chandelier. Sure. Corsair is, though he's a cosmic character, I know him more as a X-Men character. So the comment I made in the last video where they basically said that there would probably be no X-Men characters, we're technically getting X-Men characters here with the Starjammers. Corsair is the first Starjammer that was announced today. Again, with the fact that we are getting space characters like this and some other things in there, and we'll kind of go over it later, but I still feel like this is Marvel Cosmic, not Marvel United, or not Marvel Marvel United Cosmic, not Marvel United Multiverse. But Corsair is gonna have a 12-card deck. He does have, and all the Starjammers looks like have this Starjammer crew card. If the previous card in the storyline has Starjammer in its name, you get an additional wild during your turn. So it's a movement card that potentially can give you another wild if you're stacking Starjammer cards, Starjammer crew cards. First person's not going to get the main benefit of it, but everybody, the other 2 seemingly right now. I'm sure there's going to be the fourth. There's going to be a 4th one in there. But in this update, they also announced this. But as things are moving fast, let's go ahead and unveil the next stretch goal as well. So there's a second stretch goal introduced in the first update where they were doing classic equipment retail, 20 equipment cards. When I first looked at this, again, I was at work today, kind of going through some of this. Basically, I would see an update, read through it a little bit, and then kind of move on with my work day there. So they unlocked 20 cards of equipment cards to go with it says classic equipment. Now, I glanced at this and read classic equipment, so I was basically assuming, oh, this is going to be the equipment for season 1, and we'll probably get a X-Men equipment for X-Men equipment unlocks later on down the road. But then I looked today at the cards that were in here. So we have Ant-Man with his wrist gauntlets and Ant-Man's suit, Black Widow with her Widow's Bite and battle batons, Captain America with his shield, Iron Man with his stealth field generator, deflector shields, and Omnibeam. Why Ironheart isn't getting this many cards, I'm not sure. I can't remember if she's the one that gets that extra card, unless some of this stuff is already built into her, in a way, built into her kit with her 12 cards. But we'll see. Wasp, it gets the Wasp Sting and Wasp suit. And they haven't said what those suits are, so it makes me wonder if the mechanic that I talked about in the last video, or that I wanted, where with like the shrinking and everything, if that's going to be kind of a thing with the suit or the Sting. Black Panther gets the Spear of Bashinga and the Hard Light Shield. Ghost Spider, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man all get web shooters, probably all the same card, but they all get the web shooter card. Thor gets Mjolnir. Star-Lord gets the translator implant and a space helmet. Then the 2 I didn't notice was Magneto with Magneto's helmet and Gambit with his deck of cards. So basically, Marvel United 1 and Marvel United 2, these 20 cards are going to be the 20 cards for equipment cards that are going to be with the for all the retail releases, all the retail boxes. I like the fact that they are separating these out like this. I can't think of, like, unless I can't remember, like, Bishop and Cable need blaster cards or something like that. That's a pretty good spread of cards. It basically means that not every character in Marvel United 2 or Marvel United 1 and 2 are going to get extra equipment cards. We'll see how they kind of beef some of those, especially the first season cards, how they beef some of those up. But right now we get that. My only problem with these being stretch goals, though, is if you are a person who did not back Marvel United 1 or Marvel United 2, you're getting some stuff at retail. Cool. That's fine with this. But if you're just getting Marvel United 3 and not going back and getting anything else, you're going to have a bunch of equipment cards that you can't really use unless you kind of justify them being with other characters. So I'm kind of wondering why this wasn't just made as an add-on, especially with another update we'll see here in a minute. But I mean, it's cool that, for people who did the pledges for Marvel United 1 and Marvel United 2, it's cool that they're going to get all these cards basically as stretch goals for free. We're not having to pay anything extra. They're basically beefing up what we already have at, I say no additional cost. You're going to be paying a bunch of money for all this, but seemingly no additional cost, the way all this works. That's pretty cool. Again, in my mind, it would make more sense as like a $5 add-on or something like that, but that's what we got. So next update after we unlocked Corsair and the classic equipment retail is Black Knight, a missing Avenger. That I believe he came with, his 12 regular cards. Riding his winged steed, Strider, Black Knight gets a free move every turn. So kind of goes in a little bit of what his deck kind of has. Won't know fully until we get it. But he gets his Ebony Blade, which is Ebony Blade permanent. You may perform one free punch action during your turn. If you don't perform at least one punch action during your action phase, you must discard one card at the end of your turn. So you're basically being forced to punch there with that equipment card. Again, if you so choose to use it, you get a penalty if you don't use it, which is pretty interesting. So if you do have a turn where you're just not near a thug or not near the villain, or near the villain, you can't punch him yet because you haven't unlocked the second mission. I was gonna say Under Pressure, but that's after the first one. It's interesting because you're basically gonna be losing health. You must discard one card at the end of your turn. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So like I said, the next figure that we got was Black Knight. After that, Nothing Can Stop the Claw. Claw, one of my favorite cards from Marvel Snap, with his ability to give points to the right location there. But he is now in here as the first villain in the stretch goals. So that is pretty cool. I think he's just got the standard dashboard and 18 cards. So there's a little bit on him. This means he's not bound by conventional human limitations, making him basically invulnerable to normal attacks. Only by clearing one of his solid sound body threats can a hero find a way to attack him directly. A hero that hasn't cleared a threat themselves is completely harmless to Claw. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said of Claw, whose abilities allow him to attack heroes. So yeah, there's a threat card that has to be cleared out, and it looks like if you're not the one clearing it out, you're not going to be the one hitting him. So that's pretty interesting mechanic there. So like I said, we got Claw today. Next, a splash of action. So Chode was next presented after we got Claw with his 12 cards and 3 tokens. So he had water tokens that were introduced in the game now. One of his starting hand cards allows him to add 3 water tokens to 3 locations. As an amphibious creature, he is in his element in those locations. When fighting there, he may also gain wild tokens, and he can even hide away in the water, evading all attacks. Besides a strong body, Chode also has a strong mind gifted with telepathic immunity that shields him from crisis tokens. So the concept of water tokens is pretty interesting because it makes me wonder if they are going to add in other stretch goal characters, if they're going to add in other environmental the things. Possibly not. I don't know who else would get one, or if they would retroactively add some to somebody else. But yeah, he's going to have some environmental stuff. I know Iceman has frost tokens. I just don't remember what they do offhand. But yeah, it'd be cool if they have some other elemental effects on the locations. But yeah, he's going to have his standard cards, including the Starjammer. He's going to have a punch this time, with also getting a wild if somebody else has one. So we're going to have a move. We're going to have a punch in there. Plus an additional wild if the card ahead of you was a Starjammer card. So there was Chode. After that, just to face in the crown, we got another villain. This time we got Chameleon. He had some pretty. I was able to actually read him earlier. He had some pretty interesting mechanics with his find the chameleon tokens. Chameleon is a very unusual villain. While he poses very little direct threat to the heroes, he will be hard pressed to stop his master plan in time, as he's one slippery wrongdoer. Many of his effects accelerate his plan, all the while he slips away in the crowd using his many disguises. Once heroes complete 2 missions, when they corner Chameleon to attack him, they need to see if they actually have the right guide. The more thugs and civilians in his location, the easier it is for him to get lost in the crowd. The heroes must reveal 1 random find a chameleon token to see if they have really got the real chameleon so they can attack him. Only 1 out of the 8 tokens reveals Chameleon. The others are people he disguised himself as. Heroes will stand a better chance of finding him if they attack him on an empty location. For each empty thug, civilian slot, and location, they may reveal an extra find the chameleon token, increasing their chances of finding him and stopping him before it's too late. So that is pretty cool. So that's going to be a pretty interesting one, playing a match game while you're at it. So, yep, another dashboard, 18 cards with the 8 tokens added. So there is Chameleon. Next, we had update 6. Adding in Songbird into the game. Again, just a hero piece with 12 cards, no extra equipment or anything in there. Making the henchmen actually making them attack villains. So that's pretty cool. Getting having a character who can make the henchmen turn on the villains. So that's a pretty neat one. So there's Songbird. I believe she is one of the Thunderbolts. So already getting some Thunderbolts. Not many Multiverse characters so far in this. We'll kind of talk about that when we get to another character. But yeah, right now we are just getting a lot of 616 characters. Which brings us to the next stretch goal, which happened to just be equipment. So this was equipment, 21 cards for the Kickstarter exclusive characters. So we got Stormbreaker's Beta Ray Bill for Stormbreaker, Blade Sword, Billy Clubs for Daredevil, Electra Size, the Godslayer for Gamora, Ghost Rider with his Hellfire Chain, and Hell Charger. Still hoping for an actual Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, but we'll see. Hawkeye with Trick Arrows, Explosive, Wire, Pin Particles, and Smoke Bombs. That's quite a few equipment cards for him. Magic with the Soul Sword, Mockingbird with the Battle Staves, Moon Knight with the Crescent Darts and Moon Knight Suit, Namor with his Trident, Nick Fury with a Battle Suit, Spider-Ham again with Web Shooters, and finally War Machine with his Stealth Field Generator, Deflector Shields, and his Omni Beam. Again, not going to go too much into it. I feel like this should have been a add-on, but it's cool for those of us who back those other 2 campaigns that were getting more free cards. It kind of stinks for people who did not get the first 2 campaigns or everything from the first 2 campaigns. You're going to have cards that you basically can't use. So, yeah, there's that. So with that one, and where are we at? 696. We're getting closer there. I've been rambling on for 40 minutes of my time. Don't know how much of this has been edited, but there's that. Next, Breaker of Men and Women. We have Titana. She has her villain piece, dashboard, 18 cards, 1 challenge card, and 4 tokens. The cool thing I found about the challenge card. This point, okay. Players can also add to Titana's. Players can also choose to add Titana's partner, Absorb Man, as a challenge. Once the first threat is cleared, the Absorb Man threat is placed in Titana's location. This henchman can deal out damage across several locations and is remarkably hard to take down. So Absorb Man gets added in there with Titana. So that was pretty interesting. The fact that you're basically now modifying the threat cards with villains. Adding in basically another threat card in there. And spoiler, when we do get to show and absorb man, he actually has a Titanic card with him. So he basically kind of works the same way, where they add in another. They basically add in each other to the game, not the figure, but you get the added in the threat card for them. So there's that. So after Titania was unlocked, we got Hepzibah, which is our third Starjammer character. If we reach 530k, we will unlock for all backers a Kickstarter exclusive Hepzibah hero, including her character piece and deck of 12 cards. So she's again got her 12 cards. She can neutralize enemy BAM effects. Is pretty cool, and she has the heroic action star there, or piece there. So I'm assuming Raza is probably going to be the fourth. If we get a fourth member of the Starjammers, I can't see them not. Kind of like, again, going back to the fact that this is a fantastic. This could have. Going back to the fact that this may have been. There we go. May have been a Fantastic Four Kickstarter. This is kind of using some modification of the team, the team rules brought in from the Fantastic Four. So I don't see, especially with the game being 4 players, Raza's got to be a stretch goal here soon, and he will probably have. He'll probably be the one with the wild. Or he'll use a wild, or he'll use one of the other things. Since we already have a hit, we already have a run or a move, and we have a heroic action. So we'll see if he adds anything new, or if he has a wild, or if he probably uses a punch as well as the Chode had. So we'll see on that. So yeah, Hepzibah, it was the next goal there. After that, who says the environment doesn't influence behavior? So this was the basically going back to absorbing man. Dashboard, 18 cards, 1 challenge. To tough criminal in his own right, swinging his ball and chain. He can damage heroes all around him, as well as knocking out civilians. He can deal massive unpreventable damage and even outright remove hero cards from the game. What really sets him apart is his power to absorb the properties of anything he touches. Each location has a threat representing a different material. Absorb Man gains a permanent ability, so he gets different abilities depending on which threat is on the board. Diamond, stone, glass, water, steel, and fire. The glass one makes him take extra damage. Stone allows him to ignore 1 damage and make blunt force attacks. Yeah, so that's pretty cool on there. He also has the Titania card. So there's that. Web 2.0, we've got a Cyborg Superman. Wrong universe. Cyborg Spider-Man. I'm assuming this is a Spider-Verse character or a Spider-Geddon character, but we are getting hero piece, 12 cards, and 1 equipment card. Scrolling down here, seeing that sculpt, which I think is actually pretty cool. I think I like this better than the regular Peter Parker sculpt, which they redid, and it still wasn't that good. But he gets a sonic cannon, first Spider character to not get web shooters. Use on your turn, discard any crisis tokens on all thugs and civilians in an adjacent location, and punch there. Then turn this face down. So he gets a sonic cannon ability. Adding in the 7 Spider-Geddon characters. This again makes Cyborg Spider-Man the 16th Spider hero in the game. So again, for those of you worried about 4 Wolverines, we have 16 Spiders. Granted, they're not all Peter Parker, but yeah, we have 16 Spider characters. You can literally run. Since we're going to have 4 cores, we're going to have 4 cores when this is all done. Between this campaign and the release coming out in the summer, you have 4 cores. You can literally play. You'll have all the components. You can play 4 simultaneous games of Marvel United using only Spider characters. spider heroes, and we have enough spider villains at this point. You can just play spider villains. It is truly a Spider-Geddon. But yeah, that is pretty cool. The other thing with Cyborg Spider-Man, because I'm pretty sure this is not what 616 Peter Parker looks like, is that I'm pretty sure this is the first actual multiverse character in the stretch goals. Everyone else, as far as I can tell, is, I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure everyone else is a 616 character to a point. This is definitively the first multiverse character we have in Multiverse, not counting the not counting the core box. So that's pretty interesting. Again, this is, so far this box has done two things. It's introduced some cosmic characters with Galactus box and the Starjammers, and it is basically filling in gaps from the first campaign, not necessarily the second campaign. We haven't seen, other than the Starjammers, again, they're more cosmic now, but other than the Starjammers, we haven't seen any X-Men characters in this campaign. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Big, Mean, and Green. This showed up right before I think I left work tonight. The stretch goal is looking for a real fight, so we get Abomination with his dashboard and 18 cards. So it's 12 master plans, 6 threats. Fighting the Abomination is a furious and relentless encounter. He starts the game already under pressure and vulnerable to damage, accelerating his plan whenever he's KO'd a hero. His attacks come fast and powerful. Also, discarding all thugs and civilians around him. Luckily, if the heroes, they may all draw 1 card whenever a mission is complete. They will need that endurance to go toe-to-toe with the Abomination. His health is truly legendary. His master plan cards all have special effects, allowing him to jump across the play area to attack heroes, hide under-water to make him harder to attack, push heroes around, turn heroes' cards face down, and bring back cleared threats. So what did that say? Did that say all of his cards? Master plan cards all have special effects. So yeah, instead of like 4 or so special effects, you're having all of the cards be special effects. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool reading through that, because it means that they are trying to change the dynamic of what the villains are and how the game is set up. He's already under pressure, already vulnerable to damage. He is going to flip cards in the storyline. So if he's flipping like the previous card or something like that, that means the next person going won't have the benefit of the icons. All his cards are going to have special effects. The heroes are going to be able to draw 1 card, so you're already shifting away with that. We're on day 1. We're already shifting away from the paradigm of what this game is. So there we go for that. The next update was Stars and Strikes Patriot. So Patriot is going to have 12 cards, his character piece, and 1 equipment card. He's able to supply teammates with free wild tokens so they can perform any task necessary while he outmaneuvers threats, pushing them to adjacent locations. I said this again in my last video. The Young Avengers are going to make their way into this game as stretch goals. Unfortunately, not getting their own box, but that is okay. He is going to have the replica of the Captain America's original shield, which is Patriot Shield, which use on a villain turn, ignore up to 2 damage you would take, then turn this face down. I don't know if there's another effect on that backside, but again, he's not a spider character, a Captain America character. So Captain America, Captain America, Captain Carter, and now Patriot are all going to have their own variation of the shield mechanic. So I understand that they're doing it that they have to do it this way, and it makes complete sense. It's funny that basically if you're in a theme, you're gonna get basically the same equipment cards. Like we've got at least 4 spiders with web shooters. They're probably all a little bit different, but we got 3 characters with shields. Iron Man and War Machine, I think, have the same equipment cards. So yeah, it's completely understandable. I get it, but it'd be interesting if they did something else, because you don't want to kind of mix those in there. But we'll see. We don't even know what half the equipment cards do yet. Final update number 15, the Iron Man from behind the Iron Curtain. We're getting Crimson Dynamo into the game. Anton Venko, thankfully not the MCU version that they combined Crimson Dynamo with Whiplash in that movie. So we are going to get from him. This one was another interesting one. We're going to get his villain pieces, dashboard, and 19 cards. The 19th card is this new mission card over here. So we're going to actually go through and read this because this is kind of interesting. The Clear Thugs mission is replaced with his Power Struggle mission, which already starts with 2 crisis tokens on it. Master Plan cards, overflow effects, and BAMs from Crimson Dynamo, and half of his threats keep adding crisis tokens to the mission. Though heroes next to Crimson Dynamo can try to prevent that by taking damage themselves, heroes can also corner him and use heroic actions to further remove further tokens. They'll need to spend plenty of effort there, as the game is lost if the Power Struggle mission ever fills up. However, if they manage to empty it, it's considered completed. The card is flipped over and placed on the villain dashboard, overriding the previous rules and introducing its own set of rules. So card flipped over and placed on the villain dashboard over. So, and I can't, unfortunately, the way I've got this set up, I actually can't even read the card there, but I'll go through and read it later. But there's a lot of special rules and everything on there. Defeating Crimson Dynamo himself will not be easy. His armor power threats allow him to ignore damage, and the Red Militia turns civilians into thugs who attack the heroes. And then there's Crimson Dynamo's arsenal of missiles, which target both adjacent locations, and Electroblast, which shut down all nearby equipment. So that is cool. So they are going to be introducing equipment. The equipment will be affected by the new heroes. Again, if you're using old villains, they're not, and you're using the equipment on the old heroes. I don't know if that's going to make the game, if that's going to just break the game or whatnot. We'll see. But it'll at least definitely make old heroes still on par to fight what looks like a lot more beefy villains. So going back to the first page, so there is all of our stretch goals so far. Let's go ahead and scroll back up here, and we're at 698,000. So we're not going to hit that 710 while I am doing this video. Some things I did want to talk about in here that I probably should have put some of this at the top, but just because I'm very well aware that people are going to click off during the first half of this video and everything, so some of this information is not going to get out there. But so far we have 13 total character unlocks with 2 card packs essentially, so 15 different unlocks at this point. The interesting thing on here, and I'm pretty sure I counted it in the stretch goals, not with the Wrecking Crew necessarily. Oh no, it is with the Wrecking Crew. Yeah, it was with the Wrecking Crew. So far in this campaign, this early on, we have from stretch goals and bonuses. So not with the content that's actually in the boxes, like that's not in the core box and not in the Galactus box, but with the extras, meaning Iron Lad, Wrecking Crew, that kind of stuff. We have total 10 villains in the game, the 4 Wrecking Crew members and the ones that are introduced in the stretch goals. I feel like we are getting a villain almost every other reveal at this point. And yes, I know that the Wrecking Crew potentially is going to be one encounter, but the Brotherhood in the last campaign was also one encounter. There were three characters that were counted as one encounter. Still, if I counted it right, in the stretch goal box, there were 17 villain figures, not counting the anti-heroes, the five anti-heroes. So if you count the 5 anti-heroes, we got 22 villains in the game. And also note on here, other than Cosmic Ghost Rider and the new Nova, there are no stretch goal anti-heroes. I'm saying this at 12:03 a.m. on the 19th. I know full well that the um, uh, uh, international backers and whatnot are probably going to be waking up soon, seeing the campaign launched, and start backing. So I know we'll probably hit Crimson Dynamo overnight. So by the time all you guys see this, Crimson Dynamo will probably be up. And I can't unfortunately predict the future, so I don't know who replaced him as the next goal. So there is that. But yeah, 22 encounters total, or 22 villains total, with 3 of those villains being 1 encounter. So far, we are at 10 total villains. So we're halfway through all of our villains. If you're going by the X-Men standard, if you're going by Marvel United 1, there were 11 villains total in the stretch goal box, with 2 of them being added long after the campaign was over. So 9 right there. With this, we already have, if you take out the 4 Wrecking Crew members, that brings it 6, so 7 total encounters. We're on day 1. We are 2 villains away from matching what was originally offered in Marvel United 1 for this game. And we have 20 days to go. 20 days and a bunch of hours to go. So there is that. As far as pricing goes for this campaign so far, it is doing better than Marvel United 1 funding-wise. It is not, as far as stretch goal-wise, it's performing on par with X-Men, but it hasn't made as much money as X-Men. Again, this is Multiverse. X-Men was going to be huge. We all knew X-Men was going to be huge. A lot of people may not be coming back for this campaign so far, with fatigue from the first 2, not really being into the whole multiverse aspect. Some of those people may not have seen yet that basically this is cosmic and fill in the gap, and not as much multiverse. We have 1 multiverse character out of 13 stretch goals. So there's that. In comparison, by the time we got to this much was pledged in the first campaign. It took them 13 characters in 3 days to get this far, and it was Wasp was the stretch goal that was around this time. In comparison with X-Men, it was day 1, figure number 8, which was Dazzler. And for context, by the time they finished day 1, they had made 1,160,000 at least, because Warpath was that was his goal, and he was unlocked on at the end of the first day. I think Lady Deathstrike was the next one, and she didn't get unlocked till the next morning. So yeah, as far as those goals go at this point in the X-Men campaign, so far we've unlocked 13 characters in 2 packs. The X-Men one had only unlocked 11. Again, they made more money at this point, but it only unlocked 11 characters. They started those stretch goals pretty high, because again, they were getting, the funding was crazy on that day. In comparison, Avengers on day 1 only Avengers, I have written down Avengers, Marvel United 1 had only unlocked 6 characters at this point. So, and that was at 380,000 backed. So again, those are numbers you can do with whatever you want with them. But like I said, right now we are, as far as funding, that's lower than X-Men, which I would expect it to be. But as far as where they place the stretch goals, and how we're doing as far as unlocking stretch goals, we are basically on pace with the X-Men campaign at this point. I did look at Kick Track for a minute. I will probably not look at that again for another couple days, but it basically put that the campaign was on track to get 14 million. That probably will not happen. X-Men X-Men did just under 6 million, and that at one point was, I think, their largest funded Kickstarter. I think Marvel Zombies may have. I don't remember if Marvel Zombies passed them or if Marvel Zombies didn't pass them, but I figure with that Galactus they had to have. But a couple things are going to be affecting those prices. Remember, two things during this campaign. And that was another thing I kind of wanted to glance at. Way down here at the bottom. Ooh, back up. There's refund policy, all that stuff. Is this page right here. I'm sure all of you have looked at it. I'm sure it's all over the comments. I haven't read. I'm sure it's all over the Facebook page. I'm just going to look at the US because that is happened to be where I am at. The most states shipping on here, it says $33 to $44 for the Multiverse box only, and if you're getting the Herald pledge, you're doing $34 to $50, so not too far off from each other. Again, this is not going to count the all-in pledge. That will probably not show up for another 18 days. We all know it's coming, and I think they said this is going to be in line with other Marvel United, the other two Marvel United games as far as how much content. X-Men had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How do I say this? They had 7. There's 11 boxes over there for X-Men. There's a core and the Apocalypse box. So that's 2. And the stretch goal box. I'm not counting that in expansions. I'm also not counting the X-Force box because that was technically stretch goals that we were doing. It wasn't something you were buying extra. So if you did the Apocalypse pledge, you got, if you got Apocalypse pledge, you got 4 of those boxes. The other boxes: First Class, Gold Team, Blue Team, Phoenix 5, Days of Future Past, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool. Those are the boxes I'm talking about. So there were 7 expansion add-ons that you could get. Marvel had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Had 5. So 5 and 7. So actual extra expansions you could buy, add-ons. There was between 5 and 7 between the two campaigns. So I'm assuming this one's going to have 6, give or take 1 or 2. So there's that. Lost track of what I was saying. Oh, there we go. Back to shipping. So we don't even know what the all-in for this is going to be. I will say, as far as shipping costs go, $33 to $44 is steep. I went back and looked at the estimate for, I don't remember what I paid for it, but I went back and looked at the estimate for Marvel United 1, and it was $15. The estimate for most states, United States, not counting Alaska and Hawaii and Puerto Rico. All the other prices were pretty low. I think there was one that was higher, but I don't remember which one it was. Do I have it on here? Nope. We're going to scroll down for a minute. We are going to scroll down there. The third screen's over here and it's breaking my neck. Yeah. So Alaska and Hawaii on here are $73 to $106. In the original first campaign, it was $75. So, yeah. I mean, and the Africa one, I mean, if you're ordering it in Africa, you jump from, it says on here, it says Africa, most countries, $69 to $78. And over here, it was $120 back in the first campaign. So, again, I'm not sure which countries in Africa they were sending it to, but it is pretty interesting. US, the EU hubs, according to these two comparisons, look about the same. So the biggest jump is in America. Again, I'm not even going to go into that or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't want to. That's not a discussion for this channel. So yeah, there's the increase in shipping there. So you have that. The increase in shipping there. So that was one thing to kind of look at with all this stuff is the shipping. So 2 things with the shipping that we need to remember, or 2 major things about this campaign. One, with the shipping, we are not doing 2-wave shipping. There's no 2-wave shipping on there. It probably says that somewhere in there under the terms, conditions, and all that stuff. But they are not doing 2-wave shippings. In lieu of 2-wave shipping, they are going to do the Spider-Geddon box. So be on the lookout for that in the summer. Make sure you don't lose that. I am interested to see. So I'm assuming we're probably going to get equipment. We're going to get so many web shooters in Spider-Geddon box. So we're gonna get that. It's in lieu of 2-wave shipping this time. So if you're trying to get everything for this game, please be on the lookout for that. Since we are getting stretch goals for cards that people may not have, meaning we're getting equipment cards for games that some people don't have. I was actually talking to a friend of mine, Cody, today, and he didn't want to do this campaign because he can't get the other stuff. And again, if he decided he was going to get this campaign, he wouldn't have all the equipment cards. He'd have equipment cards he can't use. So with the fact that we're getting equipment cards that seemingly some people can't use, I would almost bet that at some point during this campaign we are going to get that we're going to get the locations and dashboards in the cardboard locations for Multiverse. There's going to be, we all know it has to happen. They offered them in the first campaign. They offered them again in the second campaign. We're probably going to get cardboard locations and then cardboard villain dashboards for Multiverse. I'm hoping they include the Spider-Geddon ones, since that's going to be the only way to buy them, unless they come out with a deluxe edition that does include them, or a Spider-Geddon cardboard pack add-on at retail. We'll have to see how that works, but yeah, there's hoping we get that. And then what's the other concern I said? Plastic tokens. So far, I haven't really seen, except for one, I haven't seen any plastic tokens in here. No, wait, that's wrong. We have that new, I think it's Rick Jones token that is in, I think, the core box that is brand new, and we have the water tokens from Chode. So we do have tokens that are in this game that are, I'm gonna scroll down just to see. Oh, we got to 70, so let's see if I can ramble more. This video's already gone way too long. So we already have some tokens, and we are 13 characters in, not counting 13 characters, 13, 10, 23, 5 Herald, or 5 parts of the Galactus, 23. So we were 28 characters total into this game. 28, nope, 28, 32. 32, yeah, because I didn't count in the 13 stretch goals, don't count the Herald, don't count the Wrecking Crew. So yeah, 32 characters already into this game. Day one, we are literally character-wise, model-wise, we are already a third of the way through Marvel United 1. That's crazy. But we've got way more characters to get, way more characters to unlock. We'll probably get more plastic tokens between now and then. I say plastic tokens. We're going to get more tokens that will go into a token box. And then again, we'll see what happens. Are we going to get plastic tokens? If they're not offering Season 1 and Season 2 content, I honestly can't see them separating up plastic tokens. I really hope I don't have to buy a second set of tokens. Yeah, I really don't want to. I don't want to do it. I probably will, but I don't want to. As it stands at this point, I'm probably going to be doing the all-in pledge. I haven't pledged yet myself, just because I usually wait for the all-in pledge, but then at the same time, I won't get updates sent to me during the campaign. I know I'm going to get the game. I just don't want to have to mess with my pledge later. But anyway, I know I'm probably going to do the all-in. If they do the locations and the villain dashboards, I will probably do those as well. So those are probably going to be my 2 add-ons. I'm curious to see if they're going to offer a third Multiverse mat and what it looks like. I didn't get the X-Men mat the last time, and mainly because I have the first one, but then I've seen it used a few times in different videos, and I didn't think about how cool this single player map mode would look for doing videos here. So I may try to get a mat if they come out with a new mat, but we'll see. That'll probably won't be for a few days. Now, as far as I grabbed this water bottle, I'm not gonna drink. As far as how I'm going to plan on doing coverage, for those of you who stuck around this far, I thank you. I salute you. Excuse me. As far as what I'm planning on doing in coverage, I am definitely not going to do this video every single day. I'm going to tell you straight out. I'm not going to do a video like this every single day for this game. It would be ludicrous for me to do so. That would be 20-something videos just on Marvel United. But what I am planning on doing right now is possibly putting out a video on days where an expansion comes out, and then just kind of recapping the characters that came out. Like I said, we had 13 characters come out today on day one. Probably not going to have 13 more characters come out tomorrow. Who knows? I might be surprised. They might be slowing down. We might get like 2 tomorrow. Who knows? There is a point in these campaigns where we're literally getting one. We're getting one new character a day. That has happened before. They sprinkle in other updates about like painting the figures, talking about other game mechanics and that kind of stuff. So we'll be looking at that. But like I said, I'm planning on, as far as my coverage on this game, doing extra, like doing our videos, kind of updating on what is happening with the campaign and kind of my thoughts on it and what I think about it. I'm probably gonna, if I do anything, it's just gonna be on the expansions. Now, am I gonna do it on the day of the expansion? Possibly not. One example is next weekend. They will probably do on the Fridays. They're probably gonna do some kind of recap video on CMON, and then they'll probably also announce an expansion on those days. Next Friday, I'm going to be out of town because it's my birthday coming up, and we're going out of town. So I'm going to try to do something while we're gone, because I know that's going to be coming out, but I am going to be at some sort of theme park, most likely on those days. So I may have to wait till I come back from there and kind of catch up, but like I said, the goal right now is to do a video on expansion drop days, and most likely I'll be at work when those expansions drop, so it'll probably not be until late in the evening, early the next morning when those come out. So again, if you have stuck with me this far through this video, my timer says 1 hour and 13 minutes that I have been rambling non-stop about a board game that will not be out for another year plus. Whew. So I appreciate you if you stuck this far. If you did stick out this far and you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell. Something like this I would like to do as more of like a live stream, just to sit here and talk and actually be able to have the chat open to do that. But as of right now, the reason I'm not is because I'm pretty sure nothing has changed. There's a button, there's a button, there's another button. Yeah, as of right now, I only have 9 subscribers to the channel. I thank every one of the 9 subscribers. Don't get me wrong on that. I love that, but I know I need a lot more to do live streams. So I'd like to do some live streaming with you guys here on YouTube's. So like I said, I want to kind of engage with the community more. People have been commenting on the videos. I thank you very much for commenting on those videos. When I get time, I will be catching up with some of the comments and trying to comment to people. But as of right now, I just haven't had the time. But I like to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel and is watching. It means a lot to me. Like I said, the channel's only 2 weeks old. I understand that it currently looks like the Marvel United channel, but I am trying to figure out how to adjust things so that way I have things going on out after this campaign is over. But I do have some other content, other ideas. Some that's already been made, just needs to be edited. Some ideas I have for stuff. We will be doing this one over here, getting that ready so the space will look a lot nicer than my living room as the backdrop. So be on the lookout for that. I've rambled again. It is now 1:15. I don't know what it is for you, but for me, it says 1:15 before I edit. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, notify, all those things, and we will see you in the next video.